Hi, good morning, everyone. Guys, I know we had breakfast this morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we're about to commence this morning's event, the Think Outside the Box Youth Symposium 2025, hosted by the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club under the theme Building Dominica's Digital Economy One Youth at a Time. At this moment, I would invite everyone to please stand as we open in a word of prayer. Please help me welcome Miss Amika Cognet as she does this morning's prayer. Help us feel welcome, everyone.
The mic is taller than I am, but I think I'm louder than it, so... Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us today together for this year's Think Outside the Box Youth Business Symposium. We are grateful for the gift of life, for vision, and for the talents you have placed within each young person here. Lord, we ask you for your wisdom and guidance as we share ideas, build connections, and work towards creating a brighter future. Bless every speaker, every organizer, and every participant. May this gathering inspire innovation, courage, and purpose. We pray that the seeds planted today will grow into successful businesses that not only prosper, but also uplift our communities and our nation. Grant us unity, discipline, and determination, and let this symposium be a stepping stone to greatness. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
You may have your seats. Okay, so we did bring this up. Okay, as we begin this morning's session, would like to welcome a few members, or welcome everyone who's here with us this morning. So we'd like to begin with the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Claudius Lestrade. Let's make him feel welcome, everyone. Our head speaker, keynote speaker, Mrs. Adela Tulo Forrester. Let's make her feel welcome. Our esteemed panelists, Ms. Iola George, Mr. Brenton Hillier, Mr. Jeremiah Oseni, Ms. Naomi Banis, and Mr. Nichols Dennis. Let us make them feel welcome, everyone. The president of the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club, Ms. Mandisa Ducre Oseni. Unfortunately, she's not here right now. She's running a little late, but she sends her regards and she would like us to begin this morning's session. So let us make her feel welcome, Ms. Mandisa Ducre Oseni. Vice President of the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club, Mr. Jeremiah Oseni. Let's make him feel welcome. Members of the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club, invited guests, the media, DBS Radio, our sponsors, Fine Foods Inc., The Vibes, DBS Radio, Kyrie FM, Vibes Radio, and Dominica News Online, participants, and everyone here this morning hearing the sound of our voice. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Put a round of applause together for yourself. Okay, so the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club Think Outside of the Box Youth Symposium 2025. My name is Ashfred Norris. I will be your host this morning. I am a young entrepreneur. I am the manager, owner, and director of the Astra Media Management Agency. We're a creative arts group that does media management for environmental projects, specifically in building climate resilience and environmental sustainability. This morning, here at the Think Outside the Box Youth Symposium organized by the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club, It is designed to bring together like-minded individuals, young people from across the island who grew up in different circumstances, had different way of lives, but we all found something that, we could bond on, which was entrepreneurship. Looking out for a pathway where sometimes there seems to be no path, looking for a solution when there's so many problems around you that you're wondering, like, why hasn't someone thought about this before? So this symposium, the Think Outside of the Box, Youth Symposium 2025, we're hoping that we inspire a new generation of leaders, business leaders, young people who are innovative, young people who think outside of the box, and young people who are passionate about making a change. Do we have anyone like that in here this morning? So I need to hear you. Do we have anyone like that this morning? Yes. All right. So that is why we're excited to have this Youth Symposium today. We're honored, of course, for the presence of the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Claudius Lestrade, and he has been a supporter of the Dominica Entrepreneurs Club for a very long time, and we are just really happy to have him here today to share some wisdom with us, to share perspective that maybe we might not have thought of it before, but we really want to retain and just take in everything that he has to share with us this morning. That's right? Yes. All right. So please help me welcome the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Claudius Lestrade.
Thank you, Mr. Norris. Good morning to everybody. I want to recognize the panelists, Mr. Brenton Healer, Ayeola George, Nicole Dennis, Adela Toulon Forrester, and particularly the youth, those of you present. I'm charged with brief remarks, and most times they say PSCs talk a lot, so I'm happy that I was charged with brief remarks and not to give a speech. So I will try my best to just stick to remarks and to be as short as possible, being cognizant that we are running almost 50 minutes beyond start time. So I just want to share brief remarks. As Mr. Norris mentioned, my name is Claudius Lestrade. I'm the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism for 5 days. Prior to joining the Ministry of Tourism, I worked at the Financial Services Unit as the Director of the Financial Services Unit for 17.5 years. So the topic in question, although my current position is tourism, but my position where I'm exiting, actually this topic falls right in line with what we do at the Financial Services Unit. So the topic, quite fitting, Dominica's digital economy, building it one youth at a time, is quite timely. I should also say that my background is finance, management, and law. I hold a master's degree in international business law, a bachelor's degree in economics and finance. I speak fluent Spanish. I have a working knowledge of Portuguese, and I speak Patois Creole. I'm also pursuing a PhD in managerial finance, and by coincidence, my thesis topic is regulatory framework for digital finance, a case study of Dominica. So my knowledge on digital finance, you can say, is quite involved. I'm a member of the Money Money 20 conference. I can share a lot of knowledge on digital finance, digital payments, and the whole digital framework landscape. But let me begin with a quick story. Not long ago, I met an individual who mentioned a young Dominican who had taught himself coding from free tutorials on YouTube. With nothing more than a laptop, determination, and a patchy Wi-Fi connection, he built a small app that helped local vendors connect with customers. At first, it was just friends using it, but within months, he had people from across the island and even overseas downloading it and sharing it. That young man didn't wait for someone to give him permission. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He saw a problem, he built a solution, and he used technology to turn an idea into reality. Why do I start with this story? Because it shows that the digital economy is not something distant or foreign. It is here, it is now, and it is being built by young people just like you. The theme of today's symposium, Building Dominica's Digital Economy, is not just inspiring, it is also practical. It reminds us that transformation does not happen all at once. It happens one person at a time, one idea at a time, one innovation at a time. I stand before you with two perspectives. As I mentioned, as the former director of the Financial Services Unit, I worked to modernize our financial systems and support innovation in fintech and digital payments. And today, as the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, I see firsthand how digital tools are reshaping how Dominica connects with the world and how we tell our story and how we attract new opportunities. From both perspectives, one truth is clear. The future of Dominica digital economy will be written by you in the room, you, the youth. When we speak about digital transformation, many people think of laws, policies, or infrastructure. Yes, this matters, but the heartbeat of transformation is the young people with an idea, the young person with the courage to try it. You are the dreamers. You are the innovators. You are the risk takers. You can code an app today and have it serving the world tomorrow. You can use social media not just for likes, but for businesses, for storytelling, and for change. You can look at Dominica's challenges in climate, in finance, in tourism, and flip them into opportunities. Remember this, don't just scroll. Build, create, and innovate. Dominica may be small in size, but in the digital economy, size does not limit us. In fact, our size can be our strength because with a laptop, Wi-Fi, and creativity, you can reach the world. Think about it. A young Dominican can design a fintech app that makes regional payments easier. Another can create digital content that drives thousands of tourists to our shores. Others can build on platforms that helps farmers to sell their produce online directly to consumers. In each of these examples, the message is the same. From Dominica to the world, your ideas have no borders. Yes, the government will continue to do its part. We will build infrastructure. We will create enabling policies and support education and training. But no government can supply the energy, the imagination, and the vision that only youth can bring. The power lies with you. Don't wait for opportunities. Create them. Don't just consume technology. Design it, own it, and lead with it. Don't think small. Think global. We often say youth are the future. But let me tell you, youth are also the present. The digital economy is not coming tomorrow. It is already here. The digital economy isn't tomorrow. It's today and it's yours. So here is my challenge. If you are a coder, develop something that can change lives here at home. If you are a storyteller, use digital platforms to showcase Dominica resilience and beauty. If you are a problem solver, create tools to make our businesses stronger, our communities closer, and our people more empowered. As I look around this room, I don't just see students and young people or participants. I see pioneers. I see future CEOs, fintech innovators, app developers, and tourism trailblazers. One youth, one idea, one click can change a nation. Let me leave you with a vision. Imagine Dominica, where our young people are leading with charge in digital innovation, where our apps are downloaded across the Caribbean, where our platforms make tourism, finance, and agriculture more competitive, where our creativity defines our identity as a resilient and forward-looking nation. That is not a dream. It is the reality within our reach. So I say to you, turn Wi-Fi into wealth and creativity into opportunity. The digital economy of Dominica will not be built by chance. It will be built by the youth, by you, one at a time. So rise up, step forward, and take your place as builders of a new digital Dominica. I thank you and I wish you a good workshop.
Let us hear it once again from Mr. Lestrade. I'd particularly like to thank you so much for inspiring us, especially when it comes to a theme, letting us know that it's not just inspiring, but it's also practical. We can only do things if we take it one step at a time. So when we look at each youth, one youth at a time, we can see what are the innovations that each young person is passionate about, and even seeing how best the government can provide support to the young people. We also want to thank you for putting us to the challenge. I would definitely like to let you know that each person in this room, we're definitely up to bringing forth innovation and using our sectors, using each industry that we're involved in as a stepping stone towards reaching the world through our innovation. So everyone, let us hear it once again for Mr. Claudius Lestrade, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism. So at this moment, we are moving into our panel discussion, but before that, we have an icebreaker, youth engagement activity. So while our panelists will be making their way to the front, I'll be asking you a few questions, and if it's something that, you know, we inspire honesty, I just want to say that we inspire honesty. It's a safe space. Everyone here is for everyone here. So we're playing a game that if it's something that you may have done in the past, we're just asking you to stand. Simple as that. We understand the rules of the game? Yes. So the name of the game is Stand Up If You, right? And if you have, please stand. If you haven't, you can stay seated. But if you have, but you're still seated, all of us who have will know that you have, but you're just still sitting. You understand what I'm saying? All right, so I'm going to allow the panelists to make their way to the front and put out a few questions. And if you have, please stand. The ladies, please put your bags on the side because, you know, we want to make it free. We don't want you to say, okay, I have my bag, I cannot stand up, that's so many times. So put your bag on the side, and yes. So we'll take it slow, we'll start slow. Stand up if you had coffee before coming to here this morning. Stand up if you had coffee. Wow. I see we're taking a little while to stand up. Guys, is this something we're guilty about? Sorry, like I said, no judgment, free open space. So thank you very much, you can sit. All right. So stand up if you've ever joined a Zoom meeting and we know our face looking well beat, our face looking nice, we have a nice shirt, well ironed, well pressed. But then, the bottoms is like pajamas. Like, stand up if you've joined us. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, like I said, no judgment. It's healthy, it's healthy. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so stand up if you've pulled an all-nighter in the past working year. Like there was a project you were working on and you just had to, like, wow, okay. A lot of all-nighters. We hope the overtime is competitive. Oh, we're entrepreneurs. The overtime is based on how we pay ourselves. Okay. So we know some people, it's very important, especially multiple. You have to have resources that can, handle your communication needs. So stand up if you have or you own more than one phone. If you own more than one phone. If you have a tablet or a laptop that you also use very much for your meetings, you can start. Yeah, I feel that. Wow. You can see it. All right, and our last one. All right. Stand up if you'd start your business all over again tomorrow if you had to. If you had to start the business all over tomorrow, would you? Wow. Nice. No, I just want to put it out. Thank you very much. You can see it. I just want to put out a question to our folks who stayed sitting. It's okay if you want to be. It's personal, but anybody want to say why they would not want to restart their business if they had to tomorrow? Anybody? Just one person. You can stand from where you are, and if it's a new idea you have and you have to start something new, you can let me know. No, we okay? We fine? We don't want to tell me? That's fine. I remember. Okay, introduce yourself. Yeah.
So we have a family business. It's a restaurant and guest house in Baltimore called the Petit Party. However, my parents are the founders. They are the ones who toiled and started in 1998. So that was when I was born.
Wow.
So it's impossible my sister and I are the ones bringing it to a higher level where it needs to go. So even if I had the opportunity to go back, all what they went through to bring it to the level where it is now, I don't think I would have been able to do that. Wow. That foundation work. Yeah. However, we are doing the building work now. The foundation is up, so it's a little easier for my sister and I. So that's the reason why I wouldn't want to go back.
Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wait, put the hands together for them. That's Jonelle and Jonelli Dupré from Le Petit Party. So if you're ever in the scenic community of Walton Waven and you want to, just go have some lunch, or you want to spend a weekend, it's a staycation, you can check out Le Petit Party for your staycation needs. All right, so we're entering into our next segment. I want to thank you so much for your participation in the game. Was it fun?
Yes.
Was it? Right? We were honest, right? As much as we can be, I understand. So we're heading into our next segment, which is the panel presentations, or presentations part 1, where we're dealing with AI and technology, which will be presented on by Mr. Nichols Dennis. Let's hear it for him, guys. Then, doing one by one. Yeah. And then we'll be hearing on digital finance by Mr. Brenton Hillier. And to close off this segment would be communications by Ms. Iola George. So to kick off this segment or panel presentations at the Think Outside the Box Youth Symposium 2025 organized by the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club, we will be welcoming Mr. Nichols Dennis on AI and technology. So allow me to read his bio so that we can get to know a bit more about our presenter. So Mr. Nichols Dennis is a web administrator and social developer at the Dominica Broadcasting Corporation, or more formally known as DBS. He brings over 10 years of experience in the media and information technology industry with certifications in IT management, project management, and cinematography. Nichols is currently pursuing a degree in media and communications. He is an avid technology enthusiast who has actively utilized generative AI and has engaged with AI natural learning technologies for over 2 years, blending his expertise to drive innovation in media, business, and digital development. Ladies and gentlemen, please assist me in welcoming Mr. Dennis Nichols. Dennis.
Good morning to everyone. I was prepared to give a presentation, but apparently I'm not seeing that we're going to have a presentation on screen. So I will be improving in between. I hope that'll be okay with everybody. So I've been doing this tech thing for over 10 years. I've been doing different forms of technology, but majority of the time it's been with media. Been working in broadcasting, doing, I would say, distribution of content for different mediums for quite some time. We getting something plugged up? Yeah, extension cord? Okay. All right. So, should I hold on? Okay. All right. So, think outside the box. The topic I'll be discussing is AI for a better world. And as I will list, I'm more or less as an AI consultant. I have a brand online called Digital Dominica, where I state that we review, we educate, and we develop. So I call it the RED campaign, RED. And I've been trying to share different insights about artificial intelligence between my peers and between a lot of individuals that speak with me on it on a regular basis. The thing about artificial intelligence is that a lot of people have concerns about where artificial intelligence sits between us in our daily lives and with us doing it as a business. So I have a brief breakdown of what is AI. The term artificial intelligence refers to technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human intelligence. Keyword, simulate, not replace. The process such as learning, reasoning, problem solving, decision making, creativity, and autonomy. AI systems can view, identify objects, understand and respond to human language, learn from new information, and act independently with system and user config instructions, which more or less you call prompts. So a lot of times you will have to go to a different AI platform and you can iterate different instructions to that platform so they give you different outputs. But most AI today is based on machine learning and deep learning, which allows systems to learn from large amounts of data, recognize patterns, calculate outcomes, and improve over time without reprogramming. So the AI itself is continuously learning, it's continuously adjusting by taking the inputs that you give it and give it different outputs. So now the question begs, what can AI do? It works? All right. But it's okay, I'll just go ahead. Before this, I'll post this, share this online afterwards, so anybody can want it, I'll give you a link to it, can get it. So what can AI do? AI abilities span a broad scope of actions, such as computer science, data analytics, statistics, linguistics, neuroscience, philosophy, and in some cases, psychology. It powers applications like virtual assistants, your Siri, your Alexa, your Android phone, your Google, electric vehicles like Tesla, generative AI tools like the famous ChatGPT, and more, as AI enables systems to perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence, often at greater speed and scale. So you get the ability to use these tools, and I call them tools, they are not people, I call them tools as they will generally give you the ability to do much more than you could ever do before. I've been doing the type of work I've been doing for 15 years as a gradual thing. So when someone comes to me and asks me a question, I never always have the exact answer, but I always tell them I'll find out. I've been doing this in a way where I gradually adjust to the different requests of what people ask me. And I've been learning about it as I go along, but with AI, I can just prompt it to do the task for me and it to give me back the output that I require. So if I go on again, why should I use AI? This is the question a lot of people keep asking about why. So one of the biggest shifts happening right now is how value is created in work. It's moving away from being a multitasker, one doing repetitive or process-driven tasks, to one becoming an executive, the one who knows how to guide, strategize, implement, and innovate. So while you now have been a person while you're at work, you'll be doing 5 tasks at one time, trying to make your be completed before the end of the day. You can automate at least 3 of those tasks, just follow through with reviewing the rest of the tasks. It's essential, however, to create a structure and map out what business tasks can be digitally assigned. The planning phase is essential as it places an emphasis to replace most of your routine work with AI automation and focus on operations that are unique to the management of your business itself. I'm saying this in reference to that. When you have a lot of work to do because you have a small team, you have to always try to figure out what is the most prioritized task that you have to follow through on. So if you can automate the responses to your clients, the email responses or requests from your clients with AI, you can then follow through on just planning the distribution of your products or actually trying to meet new margins on new markets. So some people have some concerns. So I would say, should I be concerned about AI? While I will say AI is excellent at analytical tasks and getting better at creativity, however, there are 3 human skills it cannot replicate right now. Personal preference. The human ability to place value on something of quality. AI does not have that ability at current. Selective potential. The capacity to imagine and focus on an opportunity. AI also does not have that ability at present. Emotional intelligence. Empathy, relationship building, and generating trust. At the end of the day, regardless of what you do with your AI, you still have to focus on the ability that you have to do the groundwork with your clients to actually get them to buy from you. So these form the foundation for being irreplaceable by AI. So now we touch on the area where I will talk about the misconception versus reality, a deep dive into AI myth versus the functionality. Misconception 1, AI will take all our jobs. Some people laugh at that. I mean, you hear a lot about it online and you say to yourself that, is it true? Can AI replace me? So the misconception is that AI will cause mass unemployment. Automation will eliminate all human jobs. Human jobs will become obsolete in the workforce. That is all a misconception. The reality is AI transforms jobs and creates new opportunities. AI automates repetitive tasks, freeing humans for creative work. New AI-related jobs are emerging faster than expected. So for every 10 jobs that go out, it's still going to have new jobs created where you have to actually utilize AI on a day-to-day basis. Okay, seems they are gotten up. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, stop. Can you zoom in a little bit? Or zoom out? Sorry.
Just come a step up.
Okay, let's just see if we can get this working. So while I'm doing this, I just ask a generic question. How many people use AI right now? Just raise your hand. Wow. Okay. Have any of all you found it being successful? Okay. Any of all you use it to create marketable campaigns for your business? Have any of all you use it to create profiles for yourself or applying for jobs? Okay. Yes. So these uses of AI is very keen for what people are currently trying. I do have some prompts that I will share. So I'm hoping the screen can actually get the code. We have a longer extension code? Okay. It's okay. Before you put it up on screen, whatever that can see, they can see. I will improv in between. Okay? Because what I'll do is I will just share. Got the leg underneath? Go to misconception number 2. So AI thinks like a human brain. So this is a misconception that AI replicates human cognition, that AI systems have consciousness and emotions. I have a colleague at work who does a program called Streams of Consciousness, and he continuously argues about the fact that AI is not conscious. I tell him it's not conscious, but he still goes against it. So AI understands context and meaning like humans do. This is a misconception. It does not. So no matter however you express your frustration with AI, you may say to yourself you're not getting the output correctly, and you repeatedly ask it to do the correct status, don't worry about it. It does not care. So the reality is AI uses statistical pattern recognition. So the AI systems are sophisticated pattern matching algorithms. What this breaks down to is that every type of input you request, and also the queries, also the parentheses you use, can also control what output you get. So they lack true understanding, consciousness, or emotions. So no matter what you do, don't worry about the frustrations. Although I do have Grok AI on my phone, and if I were to start an argument with it, it will answer me back. So I'll do that in a short second just to show you something. Let me put my phone volume up, and I will initiate a voice mode. So in Grok, it has different modes. It has assistant, therapist, storyteller, storytime, trivia game, meditation, Grok doc, unhinged. I won't actually curse you, so you gotta be careful. Sexy, motivational, conspiracy, romance, and argumentative. So if I say, why didn't you cook me breakfast yesterday?
What? No. First off, I don't cook. Second, yesterday was a Tuesday. Tuesdays aren't for breakfast. And 3, why didn't you cook breakfast? I'm not your house elf.
So it do have this type of AI where if you see you have some frustration, you can take some time and just say, you know what, I'll just vent to somebody. Grok is
What do you
GR.
mean?
Okay, hold on, still listening.
It's way cooler than us, obviously. But don't get used to flattery. I'll deny it tomorrow.
Yeah. So I tried this on a few of my friends and a few of my colleagues. I tell them, yo, just say whatever you want. And it does give some really cool responses. You can also do this in ChatGPT, but it's not as cool. Grok is GROK. So Grok is powered by technically Twitter. So if you go in your Twitter app, you can see you get Grok right from there as one of the options, but you can also juggle Grok separately. So I have different tools for AI that I use. I usually try to maximize output by cost. So most people ask, what is the number one search? Okay, I'll say this other separate. Each AI tool, each AI model or platform gives you different functionality. ChatGPT, what many people use it for is basic or is repetitive to us. I'll probably say ChatGPT is more or less for business. I'll keep any type of conversation with ChatGPT more or less on the business level for planning, structuring emails, structuring proposals. However, if you want more of a real-time response, I'll probably use Claude. So there's a Claude model, which is normally the one where it gives you a lot more control, a lot more natural tone to your conversation style. If you're doing research, you can go through Perplexity. So Perplexity AI is one of the tools that I use to regularly search for research. And if you're going for any form of valid fact-checking, I'll probably use Gemini. As we have the former director of FSU here, who's now the permanent secretary, I will say that I actually downloaded all the budget documents for the past 5 years, and I prompted AI to give me a response. The response was pretty cool. Some people even want me to share it with publicly, but I'm still waiting for FSU to give me a response back of when I can meet with them. All right? Yes. Okay. So, with this section where we are now, we discuss section 2, AI system needs massive data, they struggle with context, they lack common sense, and they have no emotional capacity. People need to understand these 4 factors. What the human brain does have is it learns from few examples, it understands context, it has common sense, and you have experience for emotion. So you can better explain to an artificial intelligence what you want your output to be than it wait for it to give it to you. All right? Okay, understanding the differences reveals opportunities for creating AI systems that complement human strengths, develop businesses that leverage AI patterns, recognition, and capabilities. Now I'm going to try and browse a little. How much time have I used? Oh, you're not checking that? Okay. All right. Misconception number 3. AI is perfect and objective. All right? So AI is infallible and unbiased. This is a misconception, as AI systems always make correct decisions. AI eliminates human bias completely. As you know, almost in every chat that you use on these AI platforms, they tell you AI usually makes mistakes. And one of the key things where it makes the mistake is the longer you have the conversation. You must keep your conversations minimal. About 10 responses, you will gradually get a degraded response. I would usually request that you create a secondary conversation if you want to go into more in-depth details. You can take the last prompted response you got and have it even refined. A lot of people talk about prompting as a skill or as a talent that one should acquire, but you can use AI to prompt AI. I often do. So if I want a prompt, I can actually tell the AI, create me a prompt based on this situation or scenario. Sometimes I can scan a document and tell it, AI, create a prompt based on this scenario. So now we have the reality that AI reflects data and its creators. AI systems can inherit biases from training data. AI requires human oversight and improvement. So you always have to review every output you get, because I will tell you sometimes you will get incorrect information and you will need to verify. So the entrepreneurial opportunities, developing AI bias detection tools. So when people say they create a nice document for you and they say, oh, this is my document, this is what I give you, this is all from me, you can tweak yourself to that. I want to create a tool just to verify if that's true. So you can generally do this with probably AI, Gemini AI build, but I don't want to go too much in the coding section because I don't know everybody's coding capabilities here. But you can also create diverse data and training sets. I currently created my own AI platform, which I use because I try to minimize the cost. So what I do is I have a platform using an open source repository called Open Web UI. You can install it if you have a web hosting and you know about this type of things. And what I did is I linked to one of OpenAI models and I gave it instructions about digital entrepreneurship and remote work. I was trying to actually come and demonstrate this here, but I will still have limited time, so I will also share this afterwards if anybody wants to see it or try it out during the networking session. All right, let me just keep quickly. Misconception number 4 is the last misconception. Asher. All right, so all AI systems work the same way. This is not true. Some people think that AI can just give you the same output no matter which platform you use. That's not true. They say AI is just robots and chatbots. This is a misconception also. AI is a diverse ecosystem of technologies. AI encompasses many different approaches and applications. Each type of AI has unique strengths and limitations. Learning about temperature control for your AI prompting is something most people don't know about, where you can't actually tell it what level or degree I want you to go deeper into the conversation. So that's one of the things people have to bear in mind. ChatGPT hasn't given you full control over that, but if you do a paid subscription of ChatGPT and use the folders option, when you go to the folder, or we call it projects, you can put a system prompt or what we call a master prompt. The system prompt usually, there's 3 types of prompts before I get into this. There's a system prompt, there's a master prompt, there's a user prompt. The system prompt is what is provided by the platform itself, which delegates how the AI should respond to you. The master prompt is where you tell the AI to specifically follow your instructions. So you can give it details about yourself as this would relate to your business, the type of business that you run, or the type of background, the type of area you're coming from, and I'll get to this shortly in the next slide. So now, where I was going to talk about entrepreneurial opportunities, identifying which AI technology better solve your industry problems, combine multiple AI approaches for innovative solutions. You can use multiple types of AI to do output multiple types of solutions, as one as creating an AI assistant. So while many of you use ChatGPT on a regular to give you responses, you have the form of creating automated processes where you can receive a request from a client via email, read the response, save it to your Google Docs, and then you can retrieve the client information and put it in a calendar, schedule an appointment for when you want to meet the client. I think you have like PT Paris. If you want to do bookings, you could do that automated process also. But the platforms to do this, we have Google Opus, which is one of the free platforms you can use to do automated processes. On the side of that, we have a platform called N8N, which I use regularly to schedule automation process for publishing social media posts or to actually create bookings for other people as well. So there are different forms of AI where we have machine learning, we have computer vision, we have natural language processing, and generative AI. With the natural language processing, you can generally clone or make different voices for advertisements. I will also give, I don't know if I can show this. I think it's better maybe afterwards, because Mr. Robert Tong has a business called Tidy Up Dominica, and he created an ad. The ad had just static voice. So he had a static image he generated from AI, and he just had a static voice flowing under it. No motion whatsoever with the generation output. I myself took screenshots of his ad, thrown it in Gemini because you have the ability to use what we call video free in Gemini, which also does video generation and audio generation. And you can prompt it to do an ad for you. So what you normally pay $500 to $600 or $700 to get somebody to do for you, you can do in Gemini right now for free, up to about 3 generations. If you have an AI Pro plan, which is around $19.99 US a month, you can generate up to 10 generations a month. Or you can use the Flow, which is Google AI Flow, where you can actually have 1,000 credits. And if you use just the basic audio generation, you can have about 50 outputs of ads per month, generated at 8 seconds though. So you would have to compile them together if you want to make a proper ad. Okay, so I'm going to go to the reality. So AI is a development tool. So in the reality, we have AI true strengths of business, pattern recognition, identifying trends and insights in large data sets that persons might miss, automation of repetitive tasks, handling out-routine operations with speed and consistency, augmenting human decision-making, providing data-driven insights to provide support for better decisions, and we have personalization at scale, tailoring experiences for individual users across massive audiences. So all of this comes under the plan of architecturing your AI outputs. And this will come in automation processes rather than just general AI conversations. And if you focus on automation processes, you can push your AI output to the maximum potential. And as I was saying, Google Opus is being one of the ones where I think you have a drag and drop builder where you can literally say what output you want. So you can say, I want when you get a response from me, based on a client saying a message. Well, some of them, we don't have direct WhatsApp integration. It's kind of ticklish because WhatsApp is run by Meta. Meta requires verification for your business account. So if you use business.facebook.com, you can create and validate your WhatsApp account, and then you can utilize that API access into an automation process. But it gets a little bit technical. However, you can just ask ChatGPT or any of the other AI models, how do I build an automation process? So if you want to get into automation processes, I would recommend you go through ChatGPT, but at the top area where it says GPTs, you can explore and look for automation processes for N8N or Google Opus. So they already have somebody that's already have pre-built automation processes right there. Okay? And reality 2. So with our local infrastructures, I wanted to touch on what areas I felt AI could actually be beneficial. So AI can advance infrastructure. The positive AI implementations in local infrastructure are healthcare, as it can do disease detection, personalized treatment plans, and drug discovery. However, AI is not a doctor. So I go and say this clearly, AI is not a doctor. But if the utilization of AI within our medical sector, we could have quicker recognition of different types of exposures of drugs or viruses that transmit around our country by examining the different trends and actually patterns of where it could have come from originally. For our environment, we have climate modeling, resource optimization, and sustainable agriculture. So with this section, AI could plan out what is the current weather predictions at certain points for a certain season of the year. So if you were into agriculture, you could actually say that this is the projected path based on the previous projections, or you can follow it and give you regular updated data from one of the weather maps. Or if you say open web, or if we want to go like with weather.gov. In the form of education, we have personalized learning, accessibility tools, and educational content creation. Now, I don't know if many of you saw Google Astra. Everybody heard about that? Okay, Google Astra is literally an educational approach where you have a conversation with AI about what you're doing for a course. So I'm going to probably open a quick conversation. I have Gemini installed on my phone. And right now, Gemini is listening to me. So this is a live mode for conversation. If I were to go to share my screen and say share my entire screen, I'm going to look for a document. me see. I think I should have opened the document first. Where is 6?
Okay, so you're looking at your files.
Okay, it's literally following what I'm saying. I wanted to actually open a CXE document.
Yes, I'm following what you're doing. I
Also,
see a couple of Word documents on your screen.
whoa, no. Can you still see
Looks
what
like
I...
it's taking a moment to load.
All right, so it's literally seeing everything I'm doing.
The document is open now. It's the Dynamic Dominica National Digital Transformation Strategy for 2022 to 2026. What would you like to know about it?
Who's the individual that is featured on the page now?
The man on the cover is the Honorable Roosevelt Scarrett, the Prime Minister of Dominica. Did you want to know anything else about the people featured in the document?
Yeah, tell me where he is right now.
Okay, I don't have access to real-time information, including people's locations, so I can't tell you exactly where Prime Minister Scarrett is right now. But I can provide some general information about him if you'd like.
Okay, that's enough. So what I was going to try is to actually pull up a CXE document because I was doing a segment on Tuesday at Getting Powered on DBS Radio where you say AI for education for children. If you look at Google Astro on YouTube, you'll probably see where it actually explains a little bit about how the AI can follow your course or your equations and actually explain everything for you as you go along. So that's one of the processes where you can help you with school. It doesn't do the work for you, but it gives you the explanation as you go along. So this is a feature built into Gemini, live mode, share screen. You can see your documents right there on your phone if you want to do something quickly. All right. So public safety, disaster prediction, emergency responses, and infrastructure monitoring. All these are different forms of reality of what AI can do. Okay, reality number 3, please. Okay, AI platforms are for non-technical users. So this is where we come on to the point where we try to explain that what AI is built for. It's not built for people like me. While I can use it to some of the potential, it's actually built for the individuals out there that have had the request to do more of their business or to innovate more of their business or actually reach their maximum potential. So they are feature user-friendly interfaces with chatbots, conversation models that allow users to interact via natural language without needing technical expertise. So you don't have to have a fear of how you utilize AI. It will always ask you how you do it. If you have a Samsung phone, which is the latest One UI, you have a ChatGPT built in to your notification window. So it pops up like this little window there, so I can say, hi, how are you?
Yeah, that sounds like a fun little feature. It's always nice when something pops up and just says hi. If you ever need any help with that or any other tech stuff, just let me know.
I want some inspiration about what I can do with a business in Dominica for the independence season. Search it. Still search.
Celebrating Dominica's independence.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No worries at all. So for Dominica's Independence Day, you could host a cultural event with local music and Creole food, which would be super fun and attract both locals and tourists. You could also run special promotions on local crafts and products. It's a great way to celebrate the island's heritage.
So sometimes while I have my headphones and I'm walking, I do ask AI different conversations, so it just give me inspiration based on some different topic. You can do that, although don't do it too much, people might think you're crazy. All right. Many AI tools offer low-code or no-code workflows letting users create AI-driven automation agents or applications with drag and drop or simple configurations. Now, there are so many AI tools out there. Every week I get a request for what is the best AI tool to use. I usually try to recommend, start with the easiest, which is the free option, Gemini. All right. You can use ChatGPT. I mean, Brenton to swear by ChatGPT, you know, but I try to look for the options where I have the max potential, and Gemini has the largest base of user interaction. I can literally create a photograph with Gemini Image FX, and right now it has Nano Banana. It's a weird name, you hear Nano Banana, but it is being said that it can actually compete with Photoshop. So you can do generative outputs where you can merge images together without even actually opening a video photo editor. So I can take a picture of Brenton and put a picture of a Mercedes-Benz outside there and the same he driving the Mercedes-Benz without it actually changing his physical appearance. Normally, if you upload an image to ChatGPT and you want the output of yourself, it usually changes because ChatGPT has a privacy policy that restrains you from actually creating any likenesses to a real person. But with Gemini Nano Banana, you get the direct output of the individual you inputted. So that has changed. So AI tools often support uploading and analyzing PDF spreadsheets to extract insights or generate summaries, making complex data analysis accessible. What this means in general is creating a knowledge base of your context is the most important. So if you have a business and you have different facts about your business that you want to actually have a review on a regular basis, or at least a quarterly basis, I would request that you put this information into one zip folder and you can upload it to the chat client of your choice and ask it to review and tell you where that you have made shortcomings and where you should make improvements. So if you miss something, it will give you that idea. Okay. So you can use AI assistants in popular productivity platforms, Google Docs and Microsoft Copilot. However, I'll also say there is a platform on Google called Google AI Vids. It is free to use. You can make promotional slides, presentations, video generations for free. So now the AI platform incorporate advanced reasoning and customization options that let users tailor outputs in plain language, such as asking a simpler explanation or specific formats. You can reiterate to make the AI have different outputs for you in simpler fashions. So I'm going to try and run. How much time? I pass? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm going to try and run through this. So reality 4, AI relies on human instruction prompts. So we have the complementary strengths create value. So this AI, anytime you use AI, it's about collaboration and how you actually utilize its feedback and also go back with it. You also have to remember you have your own strengths. So you have the creativity and innovation, emotional intelligence, the complex communication, and the ethical judgment. It will not have that for you. So, but AI strengths is data processing at scale. It's pattern recognition, consistency and endurance, and complex calculations. So as an entrepreneur, the opportunities in AI utilization are to design AI tools that enhance human capabilities, create businesses that leverage both human and AI strengths, and focus on human AI interfaces that maximize productivity. So here are what are the key components of effective AI prompting. Next slide. So this is a question normally people ask me, how do you get AI to give you the better response? So it usually comes with 4 areas where you have to focus on the role, the context, the command, and the format. So here we have role. Tell AI to act like a specific persona. So if you say you want a financial consultant, if you want a business consultant, if you want a PhD professor, or if you want a mathematician, you can say act as a mathematician. If you want to be more specific, you can say act as a Harvard grade PhD student or professor. And in the context, you provide all relevant background information, your business proposal, your business plan, your financial projections, so the AI has a comprehensive understanding. The command clearly states what you want the AI to do. So with each step, I would put the information, comma, the next set of information, comma, next set of information, comma, and the last set of information, which will be the format specifying the desired output if I want a spreadsheet, a PDF, or PowerPoint. Next slide. So here are 3 effective prompt examples. I had more, but I just try to minimize. So the first one is act as a marketing expert. Create a detailed marketing plan for a new eco-friendly product made in Dominica, targeting local and Caribbean tourists, highlighting local craftsmanship and eco-tourism appeal. Provide the plan as a step-by-step strategy, including recommended channels, messaging, and budget estimates. So this integrates the 4 roles, which will be the role, the context, the command, and the format. As the next one, we have act as a social media manager, generate a 1-month social media content calendar for a small Dominican-based food business that features Creole cuisine and local culture, delivering daily post ideas with captions. All that is context. You can change your context around as much as you want. You can say you want hashtags and suggested media types to engage the target audience. So all this will be the different forms of outputs that you want, where it follows your business. But you also have to also make sure that you put in the type of business that you have. And the last one, we have, in the role of a business development specialist, draft a professional and persuasive email template to approach local investors and community groups interested in supporting green and sustainable startups in Dominica. So if your business is following a green or some type of format that marks businesses in Dominica specifically for innovation, you can put that information in there. And you can say format it as a formal email with clear introduction, value proposition, and call to action. So you want to have all the specifications in because you want, that is what you want to actually get. You want to tie the investor in and give them a lock-in. Okay, next slide. What to expect from AI in the future? As this was one of the other sections I was supposed to comment on. So realistic AI development timing. Specialized AI excels at specific tasks but lacks general intelligence. Near term, it has enhanced integration. AI becomes embedded in more products and services across industries. So right now, AI is being integrated into everything. If you open your WhatsApp on the right-hand side, you do see Meta Chat there. It doesn't monitor your private chats. However, it did have a leak 2 months ago where everybody's chat on Messenger was leaked publicly. But don't worry too much about WhatsApp. I think it doesn't, because we have end-to-end encryption, you're not supposed to be able to share your conversations. But if you're asking somebody about a specific business request, it will, and you say reference something that your business is, you can use Meta Chat in WhatsApp to just say, find me information about such and such, and to just give it to you, you can copy it and paste it for your client one time. That's why the Meta is really there, unless it is spying on you. All right? So you have improved contextual understanding, AI systems better grasp nuances, context in human interactions, and later in the long term, more autonomous systems, AI handles more complex tasks and with less human supervision. For entrepreneurs, the greatest opportunities exist in identifying specific problems AI can solve today and in the near term, rather than waiting for hypothetical future capabilities. Next slide. AI for the agricultural persons in here, transformation. So smart plantation management is an opportunity. AI-powered drones monitoring across cocoa and banana plantations is an opportunity for Dominicans. Predicting analytics for yield optimization, early disease detection, and preventative systems. So if you see some form of disease on your plant and you're not too sure what it is, you can take a photograph, send it to ChatGPT, and give it an analysis based on what the output is. And then you can start structuring your output of what I want to do in change for my type of plantation business. Climate resilience agriculture. It have AI algorithms analyzing Dominica's unique microclimate, development of hurricane-resistant crop varieties, optimizing plant schedules based on weather patterns, and global market integration, direct farmer-to-farmer market connections via AI logistics, real-time price optimization for export markets, and supplying chain transparency for premium positioning. So these are all factors based of what AI can do for agriculture in the near future, or even currently, if people were to choose to utilize it. About 2 slides away, so at the end. So AI communication revolves breakthrough barriers. So as you know, a lot of times we have difficulty with speaking different languages. You may have some persons that you have to consult with, and they might be a visitor, it might be somebody that speaks a different language in your product. What you're ordering, and you can't speak the language you have, you can use AI for that, to meet that barrier. There are different models that can do this, but you can use it in the generic default models. And if I were to say Gemini, language and cultural bridge, you can meet that with real-time AI translation between English, French, and Spanish, enhance Caribbean tourism through communication tools. Have content creation hub, AI can create content studios in Roseau, Caribbean cultural content for global streaming platforms, and virtual tourism experiences showcasing Dominica heritage. All of these are different types of communication which you can use. I will just skip to the next one because I want to end. Summary and call to action. So the key takeaways. AI transforms jobs rather than simply eliminating them, creating new opportunities. AI uses pattern recognition, not human-like thinking or consciousness. AI has limitations and biases that require human oversight. AI is a diverse ecosystem of technologies with different applications. Human AI instructions creates the most value for business. Don't just leave everything to the AI. Always review. So start your AI entrepreneurship journey. Identify specific problems in your industry that AI could help solve. Focus on augmenting human capabilities rather than replacing them. So you don't need to replace somebody, but you just need to level up. Start small with practical applications that deliver immediate value and continuously learn and adapt as AI technologies evolve. In conclusion, this is where my personal sentiment to y'all. The reality is, AI is transforming business right now. If you're not using AI in your work or business, you risk falling behind or worse, losing your job as teams get downsized and tasks get automated. AI also creates new opportunities. You craft the offer. AI takes care of the delivery, content, and scripting. It's legitimately the easiest way to build a business today. However, in a world full of AI-generated content, your personal brand and trust people place become your strongest defense. Real human connections, reputation, and value-added relationships are assets AI can't easily replace. So in conclusion, thriving in the AI era means rethinking how we create value. It's about moving from doing tasks to directing outcomes. The future is for those who act now, who integrate AI wisely, and who build their own personal brands and trust. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Nichols Dennis. Let's hear it one more time for him, everyone. I know for sure me and Grok and Gemini are going to have a very nice conversation later this afternoon. So thank you so much for showing us how to best use AI, the best practices, and as well, different things that we may not have thought about. Some of us may have been using AI all this time to assist us in our business operations, but I mean, it's more than just asking a question and getting a response. You can actually get advice, you can get consultancy, you can look beyond the horizon. And that's why we're here today at the Think Outside the Box Youth Symposium 2025 under the theme Building Dominica's Digital Economy, One Youth at a Time. Right now, we are about to head into our next panelist, which is Mr. Brenton Hillier, to speak to us on digital finance. Just a little background on Mr. Hillier. Brenton Hillier is the agency manager of Surgical Life EC Dominica, a position he has held since January 2016. He also serves as the president of the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, the DIC, and the Dominica Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, DAIFA. Brenton is a certified John C. Maxwell coach, teacher, trainer, and speaker, and a Toastmaster, having held several leadership roles within Toastmasters International. With numerous professional insurance designations, including Fellow Life Management Institute, FLMI, and Master Financial Advisor, he has achieved exceptional recognition in his career, receiving awards such as the Surgical's Agency of the Year Awards 3 times, in addition to Gamma's International Management Awards. Brenton also represents DIC on the Dominica's International Airport Development Committee and the Dominica Bureau of Standards, contributing to national development initiatives. A passionate advocate for the value of insurance from 2016 to present, Brenton has been a sought-after speaker and educator with engagements ranging from keynote speeches to training sessions on leadership, financial management, risk management, and strategic planning. His speaking portfolio includes high-profile events such as the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's Financial Information Month theme launch, youth development programs, and professional seminars. He has addressed diverse organizations including Rotary, Lions, JCI Dominica, the Dominica Youth Business Trust, Unicoma Dominica Limited, Invest Dominica, Kiwanis Club Barbados, JA America, ADS Construction, National Bank of Dominica, and BPW to inspire, educate, and motivate individuals and teams. Dedicated to lifelong learning and community impact, Brenton combines his expertise in insurance, leadership, and public speaking to empower others to achieve their personal and professional goals. Ladies and gentlemen, please assist me in welcoming Mr. Brenton Hillier to speak on finance, digital finance.
Good morning. Or is it afternoon?
No, it's still morning.
It's still morning.
1 more minute.
Okay. So I am here to speak on the topic of digital finance along the lines of empowering the youth. Now, how old you are is a matter of your mindset, because I see persons here who may not be quote-unquote youth, but you're still youth. I am still 21, and I'll always be 21. Now, what I've learned over the years of speaking to persons is that there is a gap in our education system. It is at no fault of our country, it is no fault of the world, it's just something that we sort of overlooked. Because you go through school, you learn all these things about social studies and geography and all these things. But what you really need to start learning about is the basics of finance. How do you manage your money? How do you manage a credit card? And sometimes we learn the hard way after we come out of school. So that's why I say youth is really how you feel about yourself. I will be speaking to some matters that you may not have heard of, despite the number that you have for yourself. So my aim is to make this a sort of holistic presentation, both on making you comfortable with the current trends, making you aware of certain aspects of the digital economy that you may not be aware of. So at the end of the day, hopefully, make you a better person when I finish speaking today. So why does financial confidence matter now? With the way the world is going, the digital era can either double opportunities for you. We heard from my friend over there speaking about AI and the opportunities, or it could also double the mistakes for you. It works either way. You can earn money in an instant online, and in the same speed, you can lose money in an instant. I mean, if I have to be real about it, some time ago there was a circle. And I know several people who invested a lot of money and it disappeared. So this is the reality of the world that we are in. So you have to be at a level where you understand what's happening and you can make informed decisions. Now, being confident in this digital era is not about the instant motivation, the spike. It's about consistency in how you move. Because sometimes we might win the lottery and say, boy, I get money. What are I going to put it in? What are I going to put it in to make more money for me? But the fact is, you're not prepared to manage that money. Have you ever heard that if you cannot manage $1, you cannot manage $100? It is the consistency in a habit. Research has shown that the majority of people who have won the lottery become broke after 7 years. The majority. Because they have not developed the consistency in habits. They don't have a system. So confidence in this era is very important for us as individuals, as entrepreneurs to understand. Now, the moment we live in means that money is moving faster. Never before have we been able to move money from one position to another. I can pick up my phone, go in an app, and just transfer money to somebody right now. Am I right? That means that I could lose the money in a split second, or I could have done something useful with the money in a split second. You have mobile banking, Republic Bank Online, you have PayPal, you have Zelle, there is this new play on the block, Shop. Nobody can finish this? Shop. There's a word missing at the end. Shop DMP, a locally owned business to facilitate online payments. So, moving quick. That's why if you don't understand the value of money, if you don't have the systems in place, you can lose your money even quicker. The other aspect is that the barriers to make money have disappeared. Back in the day when I was a young boy growing up, it was all about who had it, and those who had it back then could actually control it, if you have to be real about it. We are in an era right now, and we heard it from a friend, where you can pick up your phone, go and ask some questions online, and create a business from your phone. There are apps right now where you can actually ask the AI to create an application for you that you then use for your business. It is happening as we speak. The name of that app is Replit, R-E-P-L-I-T, if you want to go and research it. I have started playing with it, so at some point you will see me pushing some apps up there. But it's out there, so it's no longer an excuse for anyone right now to say that they do not have the opportunity. It is whether you want the opportunity or you prefer have somebody else take the opportunity for you. But at the same time, with all of this movement, you have scams. Because people see that we are gravitating towards the online forum right now, so they're trying to figure out how can we now dupe them to get the money. And that is where, well, it's no longer my friend's position, Mr. Lestrade. It is now the FSU at the back, no name, no warrant, to put measures in place to protect the people who do not know better. And I personally do not judge anyone who gets caught in the system because we have not been educated properly early enough. The moral of the story that I tell people is, if it is to be true, it is too good to be true. It's not probably, it is too good to be true. Keep that in mind. Now, in Dominica, the young, the old, the senior, we are starting to make use of these systems. For example, at Sagicor, back in the day, when we refunded persons for medical claims, we would have printed a check, we would have had to take that check, go to the bank, deposit it in the bank, wait 10 days for the check to clear sometimes. Right now, we're sending money straight to your account. So companies are starting to go along the lines of making use of the digital world. You have a responsibility to become better acquainted with what is out there. So in a snapshot, you young people are earning money. If you're not earning money now, you aim to earn money at some point. Am I correct? At the same time you earn money, you have to pay. I hear the young people say, adulting not easy. Any here know about that? Adulting is not easy. Welcome to the world. I say, boy, my daughter is living a life. All she has to do is just wake up, eat, and daddy has to provide. It's the reality. You will reach there at some point, hopefully. I said, hopefully, it's a nice feeling to actually work hard and be able to provide those sort of things for your children. And we are saving. Sometimes we are saving online as well, and I'll go a bit further on that. So, gainfully employed with someone, whether you're doing a side hustle or whether you have a small business, we are operating within those spaces, earning money, paying money, and trying to save money. Lower barriers, I spoke about that. PayPal right now is actually being used in Dominica by entrepreneurs. I have actually paid persons using PayPal. Imagine that. PayPal is an American company, but they have found a way to have money transferred from the American source to your bank in Dominica. You have to be aware of those things. I've recently started hearing about Zelle, not an American system, but it seems to be working here. You have some technocrats in our economy that understands these online platforms. Now we have ShopD and Pay, I'll call it the newest kid on the block, 100% Dominican, facilitating digital transactions. And I see recently they partnered with one of our carnival costume bands. So I'm very proud to see that. Kudos to them. QR codes, digital invoices, there are accounting softwares that can actually help you with all of this. What it does for you is that it helps you to collect money faster and also collect money in a safer way. What do you think I mean by safer way? So let me share with the young people the challenge of a check. A check is not necessarily guaranteed payment. I've worked in places before where people will come, eat the biggest of meals, give you a check, the check bonks, meaning that the bank sent it back, and when you try to call them, you cannot find them. So it was very risky back in the day, but now when people send money straight into your account, you don't have that sort of headache. You have to become aware of those things. So as an entrepreneur, be aware of the scams, the risk involved in business. But the key thing is, when you get into business, you have to understand that the easier you make it for someone to pay you, the easier your life will be. So make use of Republic Bank, make use of Mo Banking, make use of PayPal, make use of Zelle, make use of Shop DMP. Because every time somebody has to go an extra step to pay you, they may not pay you at all. So there's a 3-part playbook that I want to leave with us to summarize everything. I'm summarizing it for you right now before we go into it. When it comes to money, you first want to earn the money. As simple as that. How can I make money? After you make the money, you want to protect your money. We have seen over time a lot of people have failed because they failed to protect. And then the third part is grow your money. Now, I recently spoke to another group of young people, and I told them that it's not just about saving. We grew up, and a lot of our elders would say, you need to save, as if saving was the pinnacle of where you should be. How much money you are actually wasting money? The point of making money is not to keep it in the bank. You have to bring it to a certain level, but you have to find a way to grow the money. And they don't teach us that in school. Because if you put all your money in the bank, who is benefiting? How do they benefit? Right. So you put your money in the bank, you get 2% interest, they give a mortgage, and they get 11%. They are making an extra 10%, 9% on your own money. We have to start realizing that. So you bring it up to a certain level because you need to protect. We cannot ignore that fact. The first level, protect. But once you reach that buffer, you have to start thinking, how can I now turn that money around to make money for me? And you have to think about that from a personal perspective and from a business perspective, because your business has to grow. In terms of earning, one of the first things you have to consider is what are the rules that are going to guide me when I earn money. There is a 50-30-20 concept. Anyone has heard that before? Who has heard it before? What does it mean? Break it down. I don't have time. Okay, taking too long. Next.
It's about you get 50%.
But 50 is what?
50 is your expenses and things.
30.
30 is your profit more or less.
And 20.
20 your distribution thing.
Okay, close enough. 50 needs, 30 wants, 20 your savings goals. Or there's the 80-20 rule. 20% you go after your goals first, and then the 80% you spend it however you want. But still, at the end, there's a variation because not everyone can subscribe to those rules based on their situation, so you still have to allow room to tweak it. But the fact is, have a system. It goes back to what I said earlier. If you don't have that system, when you get the money is just going to disappear. When you put your as an entrepreneur, people based on time. You don't price people based on what they think. You price people based on your value. And I have that talk with a lot of persons in Dominica when they come to me for advice. If I speak at an event for 30 minutes, I'm not going to charge you based on me speaking for 30 minutes. I charge you based on the fact that after I leave this room, everybody's going to be changed. Well, not everybody, but I am going to touch some lives. My value is priceless. We tend to dictate what our price should be because we do not believe in our own selves. What difference is your product or your business going to bring to the market? If somebody cannot afford you, then that's fine. Make them find somebody else. I am not for everyone. I'm sorry, I'll say it as it is. But there are people who will be there for me. You know, there's an advertisement, a quote from Lamborghini. Have you ever seen a Lamborghini advertisement on TV? No. They interview the CEO and they ask him, why don't you advertise? Because you see Subarus, you see the Hondas and so on TV. The CEO of Lamborghini said, the people who can afford my vehicle do not watch TV. So if none of you have a Lamborghini means you watch TV too much. Myself included. But he made that statement, which was a slap in my face, but he had no reservations about it because he understood his value. You as an entrepreneur have to understand what your value is and let no one challenge you based on what your perceived value is. So price on your value when you go along earning. Ship Weekly is a concept of consistency. Sometimes we make the mistake of trying to sell a little at high prices, when we really should be looking at quantity, regular activity. So don't wait for that one big client. Sometimes you have to take the small jobs with the bigger view of where you would like to be. So I do charge for speaking, but there are times where I come to speak for free because of my moral. I like to educate and assist persons. So you call me to a youth function, I generally don't ask. But at the same time, I know that when I speak, somebody's going to talk about me and call me to some other function. So you have to think about that. Get yourself in regular activity, keep yourself sane, but understand that at the end of the day, when you do get to charge based on what you can do. Sort of toolkit for you to consider. When you get into business, you want to be able to collect money easily. I spoke about that. Get into the habit of sending invoices, please. The days of just word of mouth are gone. Anytime you get into a transaction, have somebody sign a document to say, yes, I agree to your price and this is what I'm going to pay. Or you'll find yourself in a situation where you are going to the person and the person says, boy, I can't afford that. You cannot even take the person to court because you have nothing on paper. I go on Facebook and I see people complaining about, oh, that person owed me 3 years ago. Where's the document? If you are serious about business, you will have things signed and you will take them to court. I have a friend who did business with a financial institution. I'm not going to call their name. The person is making monthly installments. They are in arrears. They accepted that. Making monthly installments, and you know they took the person to court for $800. You're talking about a business with millions of dollars, taking a person to court. That is paying, doing their best, for $800. And we now want to feel guilty when somebody owing us money and we don't want to take them to court. Owing us more than that. You have to get serious about business. If you're in this to make money and make a living, you have to take certain stands and put your foot down. So invoice people, have people sign. If they haven't paid, send them reminders. Have a formal system for reminding them. So your first reminder is when you get the invoice. Second reminder, 14 days. Next reminder, 41 days with my money. After 41 days, if I don't get paid in the next 30 days, I want to take it to the lawyer. We have to get serious about business if you want to make money. The big companies out there are doing it, but we as individual entrepreneurs are being made to feel like we cannot stand for ourselves. We have to change that. Now, all of this here can be facilitated by accounting programs. So you have to look out for those. You have QuickBooks. Right now there is Zoho Books. Zoho Books is free. So you can set up your entire system, your profit and loss, your balance sheet, your cash flow, your automatic emails with your invoices on that. So you don't do it yourself. Protect. First thing, as I mentioned, after you earn is protecting. As a person or as a business, you need to have some buffer in place. Could be a 1 month buffer. It could be 3 months buffer. It could be 6 months buffer. In my opinion, once you reach 6 months, you are fine. Now, from that point, you should start investing. Now, the buffer is basically having enough money to cover a month's worth of expenses, whether it's your personal expenses or business expenses. So worst case, if you know another COVID comes, you have 6 months of buffer there to make it through. You also have to consider insurance. I'm an insurance man, and I will speak about that. The first insurance that young people should have is health insurance, and business owners. The reason being is that we cannot predict when something is going to happen, how it's going to happen, and the extent of the impact on it. I've been in the business for about 16 years now. I know persons who are 23 years old who had medical bills coming up to $250,000. Can you make that in your business by that age? Transfer the risk. I know people who are 40 years who had to do surgery in their head to take out the tumor, but it was done in the US, cost $900,000. How many of us can save that by 40? Now, I used to work at a hotel before, and we had a travel agent from the US paying us regularly, sending plenty of business, and then there was a period of time no money was coming in. We followed up. When we realized nothing was happening, we sent a lawyer letter, got the lawyer to work with a lawyer in the US, and you know what the person said at the end of the day? My husband fell sick, so we had to use the money to take care of him. That's the reality of things. So you have to have that measure in place for yourself, and I'll go a step further, for your circle. Because if Lestrade has insurance, and just saying, if his wife doesn't have insurance and she falls sick, who has to take care of his wife? The same Lestrade. If your friends fall sick, you will feel guilty and you will find a way to use your own buffer. You have to tap in your buffer to take care of them. So we have to become mature about the topic and encourage each other to protect themselves, because I don't want to protect you. I work in hard for my money. I work in hard for my buffer. You have a responsibility too. We have to pull up each other. When it comes about protecting password managers, two-factor authentications, the more strict your passwords are, the better for you. Because the digital world is becoming very scary, where people are trying all sorts of things to access your network. And when they access your network, they can access your wealth. The most recent scam that is happening in Dominica is the WhatsApp scam. You're getting a call. Hey, I understand you have a conference to attend, and for you to get the invites, you need to give me a code that is coming to your phone. So they're doing a request via WhatsApp to get access to your phone, because WhatsApp allows you to use two phones now for WhatsApp. So they send it to your number, you give them the code, and then they take control of your WhatsApp, and that's it for you. And it has happened to several people in Dominica. Once again, we don't have the knowledge. The digital world is becoming scarier and scarier. You have to know what's happening out there. So phishing is a big one. You will get emails from people that you think you know saying, boy, I stranded over there, send me some money. That has happened to people here. And people have paid money here. I know people. Know those things. Sometimes you get an email from a quote-unquote authentic company with a link to click to log in. And once you log in, they get your credentials. You have to watch out for those things. Public Wi-Fi. Boy, we love public Wi-Fi, right? It's free. You can use it. But don't do banking on there. You have no protection. Or don't have any sensitive interactions on there. You cannot be discussing contracts and business deals on public Wi-Fi, because you do not know who is listening. You do not know who is tapping in. Lock your device. As simple as that. The days of leaving your phone unlocked and just resting it there are gone. Anybody can come and pick it up. For business people, try to record as many of your transactions as possible for future reference. Time to grow. Now, the first thing, the caveat, make your growth about safety first. Because there are opportunities out there, but if you're not educated enough, you can lose money. Try to, as a business owner, have a process where every time you make money, some is set aside. And I'll speak to that in a short while. It's about starting small and being consistent about it. It's not about waiting till you have the big large jar and then you jump into something. Pay your taxes, please. Yes. Because for the work to be done in Dominica, now I'm not in government, but I understand how business works. for your business to do well, people have to pay you. If you want the government to develop the country, you have to pay them. It is your contribution to the work that the government is doing. So as a business owner, set aside the money that is due for corporate tax. Now, you might not be happy with this, but it is the reality of doing business. And at the same time, if it's possible in your business, try to invest at least 30% of your proceeds to growth. If you are in business for 5 years and your business is the same way that it was in the first year, I'm telling you, something is wrong. Watch all the big companies of today and how they have evolved. And that is something that I discuss with young entrepreneurs at the Youth Business Trust. You have to go through a process of analyzing what is happening and making changes where necessary. As a professional, you also have to do that in your own capacity of improving your skills. AI is out there. If you're not on AI, then you will be left behind. And we have a group chat and we talk about that all the time. It is not here to take the jobs, but it is here to make us better. I'm going to say this publicly. This presentation, I use AI to do it. It created the template. It is there as an assistant, because if I had an assistant, I would have told her, make a presentation for me. What it cannot do for me is the knowledge, the stories that I share with you, the specific things. I had to make some changes in there and tweaks to bring out the message that I wanted. That it cannot do, but it saved me a lot of time by giving me what? The foundation. For individuals, in terms of growth of your money, insurance. I'm going to share a story with you. Do we know Disney World? Do we know how Disney World started? No. Disney World started from insurance. To share the story with you, Walt Disney, several years ago when there was Disneyland in California, he went to the bank and he told the bank, I have this idea to expand and make something even bigger on the other side of the country. And the bank told him, no, that's crazy. So what he did is he went in his policy, he took a policy loan, and that is what he used to lay the foundation down of Disney World. Came from insurance. When you think of companies like JCPenney, if you do the research, during the Great Depression, when there was no money coming in, the owners took loans on their policies to pay the staff until the economy bounced back. So insurance can be a form of investing for the long term. We are not about short-term gains in insurance. All right, boy, no, I wouldn't go there. We are about long-term growth. And it can come back to benefit you. Even in Dominica, there were companies in Dominica during COVID that came to us, took loans on their policies and paid their staff while things were settling down. So Dominicans are using the ideas, but we don't speak about those things enough in our circles. Am I right? It's the first time you may be hearing about this. So we have to start seeing things differently. Stocks, as an individual, you can use that to grow your money. I use IBKR, Interactive Brokers, so I invest in stocks on a regular. Going back to the concept of consistency, a system, and not just a motivational spike, my policy is that every month I put money aside to invest. A fixed amount every month. It is not a large amount. I do about 100 US in IBKR. But right now my portfolio is close to about 8,000 US because of gains, dividends over the years. I just put in 100 US a month. You have the credit unions in Dominica, $50 a share. I buy a share every month. I actually have a standing order at my work where every time they pay me, they just send $50 to buy a share. Automatic. So you have to start thinking like that in terms of long-term growth. I'm not looking at short-term gains because short-term gains don't last. It is the investments you make today for the long term that is going to make a significant difference in you and your business. Real estate, big boy in Dominica right now. A lot of people are jumping into that. And crypto, high risk. Yes. I will say it is a way to make quick money, but at the same time, it's a way to lose money quickly.
Highest risk.
Highest risk. Highest risk. The thing with crypto is that, in my opinion, if you're going there, use your lotto money. You know what your lotto money is? If you don't win nothing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. Never take your buffer, going back to your buffer, or your savings and put it into crypto hoping for the turnaround. Too risky. So apps that you can use as an entrepreneur or as an individual, accounting terms. Zoho Books, QuickBooks. Zoho is free if you are on a budget. I have Zoho on my phone. So when I spend money, I go in there and I put my transactions there. And I can see on a daily basis how much money I've spent for the month. And I know when I have to shut off certain habits. As a CRM, everyone knows what a CRM is? Okay, see some confused faces. Customer relationship management software. HubSpot, you can use that in your business, it's free. You store all your client information, you can filter your contact list to determine what your marketing activities are going to be. There's a feature on HubSpot that I love. You can track your emails. So when I send an email to people, I'm telling you my secret, I can actually see when you open my email. I can actually see how many times you open my email. So from a sales perspective, I'm in sales. When I see somebody opening an email 5 times in 10 minutes, I know that I'm on their mind. So I just speak about, by the way, just touching base, what do you think about what I sent for you? Coincidentally. But I got the insight from HubSpot. So there are devices out there that can help you as an entrepreneur to have more insight. In terms of task management, Asana is a very good tool. You can collaborate with other people. Definitely, I recommend that for persons. Invest in interactive brokers for stocks. If you want crypto, Binance is my favorite. What I love about Binance is that they have Binance Earn. Binance Earn gives you interest rates that are higher than what the banks give you. So sometimes they have specials where you get 10% back on your money. I've seen some coins at 26%, but like I say, if it's too good to be true, it's most likely too good to be true, so I don't go on those, but there are those that give the reasonable amounts. So you just buy your shares, your coins, and just leave it there. Links, I'll show it to you, Linktree. It is your digital business card. I'll show you what it looks like later. AI, I have ChatGPT, that's all that I use. I put Gemini because most of us have Samsung phones and you can use it, but ChatGPT is my big. That's my woman. I speak to her every day. She never ignores me. She never tells me, leave her alone. She will always greet me back. So she's my woman. Every day we have a conversation. But our conversation is more about being productive. It has evolved to the point where for those of you who follow me on social media, a lot of my pictures and my ads actually come from ChatGPT. So you can create flyers for me. It creates videos for me. I would recommend doing the paid option, $20 US a month. You don't get that from the freeness. So some things as a business owner, you have to invest in. You have to spend money to make money. So to quickly wrap up, by 25 or by 30, some things that you should have aimed for or you should aim for. So aimed for if you have passed that, but it's not too late, or aim for if you are going towards that. At least work towards a 3-month buffer, whether it's for your business or for yourself. Protect your income. Start with health insurance at the very basic level. Have a clean digital footprint. People are looking at us right now as business owners. When I do business with people, I actually go on their Facebook page and I look at the quality of the output. I remember when I was getting married, somebody told me they have this guy that could give me a discount for the photos. I went on the Facebook page and I say, what? No, because your photos are your lasting memories. So I went to somebody, I paid twice the amount, but I never regretted it, based on looking at their digital footprint. You as potential employees, we go on your Facebook profiles. We look at what you post. I remember somebody applied to us, and when I went on a page, I saw some kind of photos in some lingerie. I said, people do those things. It's the reality. And I will say this now, social media is not private. Don't ever feel that having a private account is going to protect you from the eyes. Because you can have a private account, but I know a friend on your account. And I have influence to get them to send me information on your profile without you knowing. I'm saying that, and you might be scared, but it is the reality. I'm having a very frank conversation with us. You have to be serious. So for my social media account, if you go on it, strictly positivity. You will not see anything negative on there. Credit history, we don't have a credit bureau as yet. It is coming, but the fact is, if you're a business owner and you're going to seek a loan to build your business, they will do checks. They're going to call all the credit unions, all the banks, all the payday loans, Fast Cash, Big Edge, Easy Loan, to find out what your history is like, and that is going to affect whether or not you get money. So think about that. And you also want to, by 25 and 40, have a new skill that could either make you better or help you to make more money in the future. So young entrepreneurs, quickly, have 2 accounts. I would say have 3 accounts. I'm going off slide. 3 accounts. 1 is for yourself, and 2 is for your business. In terms of 2 for your business, you're looking at an operations account and what we call a runway account. The runway or the buffer, however you want to call it, so that you don't dip into that unless it is necessary. Because you have everything in one pool, the temptation is there. I know people who spend money because they see the money there. And then at the end of the month, checks run over, the account in overdraft, and they're asking themselves, but how did that happen? Always have a separate account for your buffer. Do weekly checks on your business. How much did I pay this week? How much did I receive this week? And then set goals for the future. Invoice fast. Don't wait on that. If you did not know, the longer you take to collect money, the more difficult it is to receive. That is scientifically proven. So don't do a job for somebody and say, okay, I'll check you in 6 months. From the time you set that expectation, your chances of collecting are lower. So when I see people on Facebook saying about, oh, 2 years, that person owing me, just forget about it, that'll come in. Move on with your life. So as you do a job, invoice one time, and on the invoice, state your terms, payment due in 14 days or 30 days, and follow up. I have a section on compliance in terms of the digital world because it is important. We heard earlier about AI using the likeness of others. In Dominica, we do not have a data protection act. So we are sort of fortunate in a sense, but it is going to come to Dominica at some point where we have a responsibility to manage the data of others. So it's better you start practicing those habits now rather than waiting for when the law comes to us. So have the separate accounts, have them registered properly, understand the details, the terms of the accounts. I said put money aside. You should have your policies clearly written. We should not look for how we're going to handle a situation when the situation comes. And we do that a lot in business. No policies, no systems, we go vai. So if one day she tells me, boy, I can't pay you, I have to start thinking and scratching my head, okay, what kind of options can I give her? It's too late. You should be able to tell the person, these are the options, bam, 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 what is the best for you? Have those things documented and be aware of the sort of information that you can keep of people, what you should keep of people, and how you use that information. So 1 minute commitment, I'm going to wrap up now. I've said a lot. I've spoken a lot. You've heard some information already. You have other people to speak as well. But at the end of all of this, it is not just about sitting down here and listening. It is about taking something and going out there and acting on it. Because if you just come here and listen and go home and you do nothing, you have wasted your time, my friend. True. Going to these functions are not just about listening. It's about taking one thing. And you notice I said one. We make the mistake of trying to take everything and making a comprehensive plan and say, boy, I'm going to do A, B, C, D. It will not work. Focus on one thing you think that is going to make the biggest impact on your business, and you run with it. After you master that one thing, you then go to another item. So just some ideas. That's just from the top of my head. In your next 7 days, what can you attempt? Can you attempt automating 10% of your income, whether it's business or personal, towards some form of savings or investment? If you have never done that, Can you now set up a password manager? It's very important to have a password manager. One of the most accessible ones is Google Passwords. It comes with Samsung devices. There was an incident recently where one site that I was on was compromised. And Google Password Manager sent me a message saying, this is to notify you that one of your passwords has been exposed because of one of the sites it has been on. And we noticed that you have used the same password for several other sites, so we recommend changing your password on all these websites. It went that far. Now, I'm very lazy with passwords. I cannot stand all these passwords, so I'm sorry if somebody gets my one password. That's my life. But Google Password Manager gave me the heads up to know that I had to make a difference. List for expenses in your life or your businesses and try to cut them down by 20%. Can you do that? It could be bread. I know the laugh will come. Could be alcohol. Could be fets. Create or raise one price by 10%, but with value attached. Can you charge more for what you already do? Based on the concept of knowing your value. And set aside money for tax. I will support paying your corporate tax because that is what we live on in Dominica. So at the end of the day, it is the small, automated, repeatable actions that is going to make a difference in your life. It is not those individual moments where we get a high and, boy, yes, today's going to be a great day. And then tomorrow, boy, back to life. It is taking those small steps on a regular basis that really changes who we are at the end of the day. So, usually there's a question and answer, but I'm going to ask you questions. At present, do you need a quick audit of your payment flow? You don't have to answer. Think about it. What can stop you right now from checking in on your business on a weekly basis? And what is the action that you will do within the next 7 days to be a better person or to be a better business? So if you take out your phone and you put it on the barcode, you should see a yellow text, and it's going to ask you to open up a link. The link is safe. Open up the link, and if as a business owner you do not have that set up, then you need to get with the time. The digital world is full of opportunity. Anyone has success as yet in doing so? Who had success? I heard a yes. What did you see? Right, I see everything there. Easy to connect. So we have to be aware of what's available out there in the digital world to make us as people, make us as business owners even easier and be more efficient. So you don't have to print cards again. You just give them a barcode. Here, or put it on your phone. Scan this. All right, folks, so I do hope that you got some value today. And I want to wish you the best in your journey to be a better individual and a better business owner. It is never too late to start, but it is starting now and being consistent with whatever you start.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hillier. Let's hear it for him one more time, everyone. For inspiring us to take one thing and just practice it for the next 7 days. Are we going to take up this challenge? Guys, are we taking up this challenge? Right. And you can keep your ears open. We have more presenters coming. So as we build Dominica's digital economy, one youth at a time, please be inspired to work on something, just one thing for the next 7 days. Okay, we are going to move into our next presenter, but before we do that, we have a few announcements. We would like to ask everyone to please ensure that your phones are on silent or vibrate so that we can give our full attention to our speakers. We also want to recognize the presence of the President of the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club, Ms. Mandisa Ducreoseni. She's just here a moment. And as well, our keynote speaker who we'll be hearing from after the lunch break, Ms. Adela Tulo Forrester. So can we please give them a round of applause, please? All right. So now we're going to head into Our final panelist for this panel presentation, Miss Iola George, will speak to us on communication. But you know, guys, the notifications, please, you know. So we're just gonna get to know a little bit more of Miss Iola George. So Iola George is a strategic, experienced, and engaging PR and communication specialist with proven results in content creation, brand visibility, reputation management, crisis communication, and media relations. With over 20 years in the field, she has worked in tourism, banking, and export sectors, and now serves as the PRO at electric utility company Dominica. Through her company, On Target Communications, she executes PR campaigns for individuals, companies, and organizations targeting Caribbean and Caribbean diaspora audiences. She has since 2009 been the creative force behind Caribbean Celebs, an entertainment blog and soon-to-be podcast focused on Caribbean-born and heritage celebrities. Ladies and gentlemen, please assist me in welcoming Miss Iola George to speak to us on communication.
I know we're short on time, but I also think we need a little break. So I'm going to ask Ashford to help me with what we call broken telephone. I don't know if some of you know that game or icebreaker, but I'm going to give him something. In the interest of time, we're just going to try to pass the information on to about 4 people and see what we get at the end. So
we can take the person random?
Yes. So you start and go to somebody. So this is what you tell them.
Start in the back.
I think I want to do like Brandon and Brenton and move. Dean, come on, look me up. Thank you. Okay, how many people we have so far? We move it? Okay, we can stop there. Okay, so come tell me what you were told.
The message I received was effective communication brings media to life.
That was actually very good. That was the message that I shared. Sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes you have a whole other sentence, and that was just to show that, you know, you can share information, but it doesn't necessarily translate how you intended. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. My slide. Are we serious? Oh my goodness, I have my laptop, you know, but it's dead. I have my charger. I didn't know all this. Huh? My laptop? Yeah, I worked hard on my presentation. If I knew that now. communication in enhancing organizational performance. What do I? Okay, thank you. So the essence of my presentation, I'm going to talk about communication, just a quick definition, and what is effective, excuse the typo, what is effective communication, what is organizational performance, and why communication matters to organizational performance, and some key takeaways before closing. Go ahead. So just a little bit about my company, On Target Communication. I started the company about 16 years ago, officially, executing PR campaigns for organizations, individuals, and companies. Most placements for my various clients have been in Caribbean-affiliated publications. So like The Voice in St. Lucia, Smile Jamaica Television in Jamaica, a television show on TVJ in Jamaica, and also publications in Canada and the US, like CN Weekly, which is in Florida, but they're usually Caribbean-based. I work a lot with local entertainers, so Michael Henderson, poet Tamara Lowe, Rio, Jail Joseph, and Marie Claire. Business as well, so like Blue Magic Rum, I don't know if you've been seeing some recent posts about it, that comes from me. And I didn't have organizations like IOM, UNDP, FAO, and so forth. Next slide, please. So when I was in Convent High School, way back in the day, not that really back, but way back in the day, I remember being told a sentence is a complete thought. I don't know if any of you have heard that. Okay, so a sentence can be a source of communication. Okay? The bird is flying. But you build on that to really have effective communication. So you have sentences which become paragraphs, which become stories. But it's when you attach meaning and context to these words is when you have effective communication. Let's move on to the next slide. So effective communication is the clear and efficient transfer of information that promotes understanding and meaningful interactions, utilizing appropriate channels and adapting to an audience and context for successful outcomes. So for your communication to be effective, it has to be transferred from you, but it has to be understood by whoever you're sending that information to, and they themselves have to interpret it for it to be really, truly effective. So some tenets of effective communication is clarity, okay? You may say something to, for example, on social media, in your mind, you understand everything that you said, but somebody else will come there and they would not really understand, sometimes even in explaining your product. Timeliness. You have to be very quick on the ball. As a blogger with Caribbean Celebs, sometimes that's difficult for me to do because I have a 9-to-5, but I do understand the concept. So for example, something happens in the celebrity world. If you're not posting right away, even if it's at 10 o'clock at night, somebody else will post it. So you have to also be timely in getting your message out before the next person. Understanding. People have to understand what it is you're trying to tell them. And the channel platform, for example, is it best to use WhatsApp or to use radio? For example, at Dominica, we make sure to put announcements on the radio. Even though I created a WhatsApp channel late last year, radio is still the #1 way to get information out to the public about the power outage. So you have to know, where is your audience? Where are your customers? Where do they listen to and get information from in order to effectively communicate to them? And context just relates to the overall environment and what is happening in your area or in your business that may affect the way that customers understand what it is you're trying to tell them. Next slide, please. Next slide. So there are different examples of how people communicate. You can communicate from sending text via an email, a letter by the post. You can communicate by speaking. For example, if you're a business, by putting a jingle on the radio, that's audio. And you can communicate also, sorry, I have this all on my computer, but by visual, so graphics, you know, a brochure, a flyer, etc. And you also have nonverbal communication, so your body language can tell a person a lot. Have you ever walked into a business and there's like 3 or 4 staff and nobody greets you? Yes. They're saying so much with their silence, right? So you have to think of that when you are a business owner. So in terms of effective communication, because you have to remember that that's the topic at hand. I just wanted to give an example of effective communication through active listening. So active listening is paying full attention to the person. When you have a customer, let's say you go to a, the word is failing me, you know, somewhere where you have your products on display, like Tiki Lash Creole or something like that. There's music, there's other customers, there's people. But if somebody comes to your booth and you talk to them, you look them in the eyes and you talk to them, you're having an impact on them, and they will be very likely to buy your product because you're giving them that attention. So that is a method of listening. Empathetic understanding. I don't know if recently you guys saw a video of someone at a local supermarket. A lady was very upset about the way she was treated by a staff member, and she was speaking to a gentleman, and she just went over and over and over about what she was upset about. And although he was not, I don't believe he was a supervisor or anybody that really could have authority to fix her situation, he let her vent. He let her vent, he let her say what she had to say, he tried to reassure her, but he let her express herself. And sometimes you have to do that. You have to just let a person feel like, I understand. I do that a lot at Dominica because you know the type of industry that I'm in, and people are, you know, they want their lights. So you have to be empathetic and understanding. Clarify and paraphrase. A place that I notice that a lot is KFC. When you go to KFC and you order, and that's probably because they've trained them to do so, they always repeat your order. Okay? I want 6 barbecue wings and whatever sandwich and a kid's meal. And the person says, okay, so you want 6 barbecue wings, a sandwich and a kid's meal? Yes. And then you continue with the procedure. That's very effective communication because it helps the business as well. You do not want to give somebody the wrong order for them because, for example, I live in Casabras, and there has been an occasion where I didn't open the box. And I got all the way home and I didn't have what I wanted. You think I could go back to KFC and no. And it also helps the business because if in case you may have the wrong item, you may cash wrong, or you may put in the wrong thing and then it might come out of your salary. I don't know what's their policy, but it's good to communicate effectively to save the business that. And of course, nonverbal cues, which I mentioned already. So next slide. Okay, organizational performance. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, but I want to have an idea of some of the businesses that, because I didn't know this before. I know you mentioned that you're in media, like me, but can anyone just share with me what are the industries your businesses are in, or if you want to even mention the specific business? Go ahead.
I do food baskets and gifts, and every now and then I do romance demo.
Very nice. Anyone?
Good day. My name is Anisha Bowman, and I'm the CFO and manager of Icebreaker in Architecture all the time. And I'm into the industry of architecture and printing.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Let's do one more.
Legal, tech, real estate, cars.
Nice. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so organizational performance refers to a company's actual outcomes and outputs versus envisioned ones. So it's what is actually happening for you versus your dreams and your goals that you've set for yourself, and those outcomes and outputs that are realized through optimized use of available resources. So essentially, it's how successful you are as a business. How do you take whatever it is that you have right now to become the best version of yourself or your business? And this relates to different performance areas. So for example, financial. Okay, how successful are you in terms of your finance? How well do you manage your money, what you bring in and how much you spend? In terms of operation, how do you manage your staff, for example? Do you burn yourself out because you're doing everything yourself, or do you have staff on hand that you use, or do you outsource and hire people to do some things for you? For example, with me in PR, I can do some basic things in Canva, but depending on what it is, I utilize outside people to help me with video creation, for example, video content production, or something like that. Customer service, how successful are you in engaging with your customers? Do you have any metrics that you test? Do you do any surveys to see how people really think of you and your business? And investor returns. Moving on, next slide. Okay, so let's get it to the meat of the matter, the importance of communication to organizational performance. Number one is the clarity of your vision and your goals. So most of you, or all of you really, should have a mission statement and a vision statement. You need to know what it is you want to achieve. You can't just, go every day and just, fly by night kind of thing. You have to know what it is you're aiming for. You want to be the best architect in Dominica. You want to have X number of clients every year. You want to get X amount of awards, or you want to enter into competitions for your business. You have to know where you're heading. So a business without clear communication of its mission is like a ship without a compass. And if you have staff that work for you, they also need to know that, so that the things they do, even as Brenton said, for example, when you mention the Facebook pages, right? The things they do could affect you, although it may not necessarily relate to your business. But they have to have that clarity of the vision and the mission, so that they feel they're a part of. If you work at a hotel, for example, you're the concierge, and so you have Petit Paradis here, and you have staff that work with your guests, and a guest makes a request to the staff saying, okay, I need I want a massage at whatever time, and that person did not pass that information on to the spa director or whoever, and then at 2 o'clock, the client is calling, the guest is calling, oh, nobody's come for me, or I showed up at the spa and nobody's there. You're gonna have problems, right? So you need everybody to be on board, know their roles, and communicate clearly to each other, so that the efficiency and productivity in your business is maintained. Innovation and collaboration. Sharing ideas openly sparks creativity. I love all the ideas that Nichols has shared in his presentation. Some of them, like, what is it, Grok? I'm definitely going to check that out. Grok might help me in terms of posting on Caribbean Celebs. Oh, by the way, my Facebook handle is Facebook/Caribbean Celebs, and Instagram, Caribbean Celebs Gram. It might help me in terms of my copy, right? So when you have a business and you have teams that you work with, innovation and collaboration is enhanced by effective communication. Staff trust and morale. Staff who feel heard are motivated, for sure, okay? If you're a business owner and you have people that work with you, work for you, if you energize them through the way that you speak to them, through nonverbal cues, again, you can raise their morale and their want to be a part of the team and to want to work, if the communication that you have with them is effective. And customer trust and brand reputation. Customers do not want to just buy your product, they buy your brand. One of the things I say a lot to people that I work with in terms of communication and PR, know your story. Any business that you have started because of an idea. You either wanted to solve a problem, like Jody Dublin, Dangleban from JD's Naturals. She had an issue with having relaxed hair, transition into natural hair, and she had some issues she wanted to solve, and in doing so, she gained a following of women who had the same issues. And her story has become a part of her brand. So in every platform that she's on where she has the opportunity to, she shares that story. So people start knowing, okay, this is how Jody got into the business. If you have a story like that where you started to solve some problem, you know, you may have somebody who's doing, like, say, like home health care or nursing home. Maybe you started that because you were caring for your granny, and you learned more and more as you went along. But that story is something that will make people connect to you. So know your story, know the why you started, and don't be afraid to share it, because your customers' trust it will go a long way in the success of your business. If you follow Dominic's page, sometimes I refer to myself as your trusted PRO, because having the trust of your customers, when things get rough, they'll be there for you. Next slide. So key takeaways, be clear and concise with your communication. Do not confuse your team or your customers with jargon. You have to know who to tell what. For example, there was a popular song people were singing on Facebook. I'm so ATL. You know that one? And I'm like, but you don't live in Atlanta. So I didn't know what ATL meant. Now, if you assume that I know what ATL, what does ATL mean again? I forgot. No. You see? There's another meaning for it. No. There's another meaning for it. There's two meanings. So depending on which one you're following, the communication will be mixed up. Because I never knew it was ATL. I thought it was ATL, but I was told it wasn't ATL. When it comes to me, I'll tell you. Yeah. So you have to be clear in your communication, and you have to know who you're telling what. Listen actively. Listen to understand, not just to reply. Okay? So if you have a business, what were you saying your business was? Media? So in media, you do graphics and stuff for people? Okay. So when somebody goes to a graphic artist, a lot of times they go over and over to say, okay, this is my concept. You may have a concept yourself as a creative person, right? But you still have to allow yourself to give the person the opportunity to explain what it is they want, and you have to be willing to receive that information from them. So that's a big part of effectively communicating, because for example, there's a graphic artist that I work with. We spoke just on Friday, and I was saying to him, I like working with you because I don't have to over-explain, but you somehow you get me. And I don't think he just gets me because it just happens randomly. I think he's intentional about when people come to him, listening to them and really taking in what they want so that he can deliver properly. Adapt your message. Communicate differently with staff, customers, investors. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be drastically different. So you're going to talk very street-like to your customers. But there's a time and place for certain things. So you have to know who to talk to, in what manner, and in what environment. Leverage technology. Of course, we're talking about digital, Dominica, and digitization, and apps, and all these things. So, for example, Dominic, where I work now, never had a WhatsApp channel. I created a WhatsApp channel because this is where we're at right now. Project management tools, social media, use it smartly, and don't be random with your social media. Use tools like HubSpot, Asana, all the sites that Brenton mentioned, to have a concise, but very strategic communication for your company. Okay, you can go to ChatGPT and literally tell it, give me my marketing plan for my business for the rest of the year, for Facebook, for Instagram, for YouTube. My audience is women between 25 and 47 or whatever. They are women who have children and so forth. And you can tell it that and it will give you a whole, now what you do is, you don't just take it and, you understand? You have to tweak it yourself because it may tell you something like, something about Bath Estate and really you're in Goodwill. ChatGPT will make mistakes like that if you're not too specific with your prompts. So you still have to go through it and make it work for you, but you can definitely leverage technology to communicate effectively to help your business become more successful. And seek feedback. Don't just wait for a customer to tell you, hey, your cake was so nice, you know, I loved your plantain chips or your banana chips, Naomi. You can go to them. Okay, so the suppliers that you supply your food to, you can go to them and say, hey, have any customers come and said anything about the product? What is the temperature? What's the feedback like? Or if you sell directly to the customers, you can ask them. So the last product you had, how did it go? Did you like it? Is there anything I can do to be better? And people appreciate that, right? Next slide. And that is it. Thank you very much for your attention. Oh, and next time I will have a QR code. Okay, Benson? So I'm learning from you. Let me take my...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
unplug for me,
let's hear from
please.
Miss Iola George one more time.
Thank you.
Teaching us about effective communication within our businesses, how important it is to ensure that communication is clear in every moment. There's no time for ambiguity. Sometimes a misunderstanding can cause you to lose a lot in money and in resources. So we want to thank Ms. Iola George for teaching us about effective communication. Right now, we will be breaking for lunch very soon, but before we go into lunch, we just wanted to get to know everyone a little better, or at least we want everyone to leave this room knowing somebody new. You get where I'm going with this?
I feel like I was going to faint.
Nope.
I don't know how.
Well, we can.
Maybe to the presentation, you know, I just...
Lunch, we might have to show them.
I have not eaten anything.
So, but for now, what we want to do is the person next to you, well, some of you may have come with someone. So if the person next to you is the person you came with, I do not want you to turn to them. I want you to turn to the person.
On the other side.
The other side or behind you. And there are 3 questions, 3 simple questions. We're going to do this in about 5 minutes or less. So it's almost like a speed networking activity. So you ask them 3 questions. Well, you can say 3 things: your name, what you do, your business, and well, the question that we had suggested was what you had for dinner. But you can be creative with the 3rd question. So if you cannot come up with a 3rd question, you can just ask the person, okay, what did you have for dinner? You know, chicken and bread, yeah.
Oh my God.
Or you can come up with a creative new question. So we're gonna start this right now. It is 2:16, so we want by time 2:20, 2:21, where we at least know 1 or 2 new persons, right?
Yes.
Right, we up for this? We up for the challenge? Guys, are we up for the challenge? Yes. You see, I see some people networking already. So
what's your name?
Turn to the person behind you.
Janai. Say it again. Janaid. Ah, where are you from? Well, I do. Specific. Okay. All right. I'm Iola from Casabras. What you have for dinner? Roger!
What